This guy's a total fool, an ex-gang member. At the mixer, a former classmate of mine laughed mockingly as he said that about me. Because of him, my high school days were miserable. Even now, he speaks ill of me, boasting about how much better he is. Amidst all this, perhaps you don't know. Huh? One of the promotional models attending the event said that to my former classmate. Although he looked puzzled by her words, she ignored it and smiled at me. Everyone has noticed. Shortly after, when she revealed my true identity, my former classmate was utterly astonished. And thus, the tables were turned between my former classmate and me. I am Cameron. I'm not even close to having a significant other. I'm a single man with almost no experience in romance. Ever since I was a child, I've had a fondness for vehicles like cars and motorcycles. Cameron, what do you want this year? I want a motorcycle. You really do love vehicles, Cameron. For birthdays and Christmas, I always asked for famous vehicle toys. And I had a particular favorite one that I always carried in my backpack and played with daily. All right, this year let's splurge a bit and get you one you can actually ride. Yay. My dad always watched over me kindly, seeing how much I enjoyed it. Not only that, but he'd take me to vehicle-related events or just out for long drives on days when there was nothing special happening. Oh honey, you're always spoiling Cameron, and it seems Cameron's love for vehicles is definitely inherited from you. My mom would sometimes watch us play together, shaking her head in amusement. However, when I was in 6th grade, my dad passed away due to illness. After that, my mom raised me all by herself. Sorry Cameron, I'm coming home late tonight, so have dinner by yourself and go to bed early. Okay, I understand. Don't push yourself too hard. Since my busy mom was hardly ever at home, I felt quite lonely, to be honest. But I didn't want to be a burden to her. So, I endured. I'm sorry I can't be there with you. I'm all right. I have the toys Dad gave me. When I play with them, time flies, and I don't feel lonely. I always answered my mom with a smile, even though she looked apologetic. And to help her in any way I could, I took the initiative to do household chores. I'm going to help out at Tyler's shop today. Just leave the dishes at the usual place. I'll take care of them all when I get back. Thank you, Cameron. In addition, I helped with newspaper delivery and assisted at my relative Tyler's shop, doing my best to support our household finances. Our relatives, aware of our situation, also lent a hand in various ways. Here's some pocket money for you, Cameron. Take it. Really? Are you sure? Yes. Use it to treat your mom to something nice. They would give me a little extra pocket money or spare household supplies, saying they had extra. George and Helen, an elderly couple living nearby, also doted on me, sharing their extra meals and snacks. Thank you always. No problem. George always looks forward to you delivering the newspaper every day. They watched over our family warmly. And thanks to my mom working from dawn till dusk every day, I was able to advance to high school without any issues. I truly can thank the people around me enough. Whenever I express my gratitude, everyone tells me that seeing me grow up healthy and happy is the best repayment. Though I couldn't afford luxuries until middle school, I lived happily every day. Hey, Cameron, there's talk of us all going to see a movie next time. Would you like to go? Sorry, I'm happy you invited me, but I have to go to work. As a high school student, I became even more consumed by part-time jobs. To earn money for living expenses, I didn't join any clubs and sacrifice my hobbies to work. Honestly, I wanted to hang out with friends and experienced youth for club activities. Yet, the image of my mom working hard for me always came to mind. I prioritized work to lighten her burden just a bit. But on my 16th birthday, here you go. It's ready. Jess, I've been looking forward to this all year. Every year on this day, my favorite dish made by my mom, fried chicken, and a homemade cake, would be on the dinner table. The chicken was bought from a discount supermarket, and the strawberries on the cake were small. Yet, for me, it was the ultimate feast. It was when I blew out the candles on the cake. Cameron, take this. Huh? My mom handed me a bank book. It had a considerable amount of money saved. This is all the money you've contributed to the house. I haven't spent a cent of it and saved it all. Use this money to pursue your dream. I don't need it. Use it for the household. That's why I've been working. I tried to refuse in surprise, but my mom wouldn't take it back. Just accept it. I've always felt sorry for making you feel lonely. It's fine. I was okay, as long as it made you smile. Your pursuing your dreams is my greatest happiness. I'd rather see you achieve your dreams and smile. With that, my mom insisted on giving me the bank book. Moved by her words, I ended up crying and accepting the money. After that, I got my motorcycle license to chase my dream. Being able to ride a motorcycle expanded my job options. This led me to work even harder than before. You've been busy lately. Don't overdo it. I shouldn't be hearing that from you. Besides, I enjoy the work so much I can't help it, so I'm fine. My mom looked worried as my work hours increased, but I shrugged it off with a smile. I wasn't lying. Having a new goal of fulfilling my dream gave me more motivation than ever. Plus, riding my bike, the wind blowing past me seemed to carry away all my fatigue. Hey, Cameron, you're done for the day, right? Here, some refreshments. Thank you. One day after work, I was chatting with Alex and Dylan, two of my colleagues, in front of the store. They were seniors who always looked out for me, and I respected them both. It was when I came out of the store that I saw those two, Alex and Dylan, sitting on their bikes and chatting away happily. They came up to me and gave me a drink. Alex and Dylan, both college students, dressed in flashy styles like tattoos and earrings, might look like delinquents at first glance. However, these two are impressive individuals. Despite being college students, they are entrepreneurial college students who run their own apparel brand. That's why I was so engrossed in their stories. Is that Cameron, despite being poor? I didn't realize that my classmate Kevin, who was on his way home from school, was watching me. The next morning, I entered the classroom as usual. Ah, he's here. Isn't that bad? What's that? Suddenly, for some reason, my classmates were glancing back and forth between me and the blackboard. And when I looked at the blackboard, there was a photo of me talking to those two college students. Furthermore, it was boldly written, "Scoop. Cameron is a gang member. What's this all about?" I was stunned and muttered to myself, "Cameron hangs out with bad crowds. He's a gangster." Kevin shouted that. I was momentarily taken aback by that, but I quickly retorted, "That's not true. Those people aren't gangsters. This photo is the evidence. Sure, they might look like delinquents, but this alone isn't proof that they are gangsters." No matter how much I tried to explain, Kevin wouldn't listen to me. Eventually, a teacher who heard the commotion separated us, and both of us were called in after school. There, I received a stern warning for hanging out with bad influences around 10 p.m. However, the teachers knew my circumstances, so I didn't face any disciplinary actions. Is that rumor true? I don't know, but I don't want to hang out with someone with such rumors. After that, I became the subject of rumors, and my classmates started avoiding me. From then on, I was ostracized by my classmates. Nobody wants to be involved with a gangster. Kevin, who was supposed to be called in as well, started making sarcastic remarks. In such circumstances, I spent most of my time in high school without talking to anyone and graduated. Honestly, I considered dropping out at one point, but for my mother, who worked hard to get me into high school, I wanted to at least graduate. No memories at all. On the day of the graduation ceremony, while I was relieved that I would no longer be looked at with disdain, I felt sad that I didn't make any fun memories with friends over the 3 years. Let's move on. I still have my goals of repaying my mother and achieving my dreams. Saying that, I turned my back on my classmates, who were reluctant to part ways, and started walking. Before I knew it, 10 years had passed since my high school graduation. Thanks to my hard work over these 10 years, my job was going well, and I could finally make my mother comfortable. "Hey, Cameron, are you free this weekend? You must be, right?" Suddenly, "What's up, Ryan? Don't make me sound like I have nothing to do, but yeah, I'm free." One day, my work colleague Ryan, in a cheerful mood, approached me. I didn't make friends in high school, but now I have a friend who could be called my partner. That's Ryan. He's a bit flashy, but I trust him more than anyone because he's skilled. "Let's go to a mixer next time." "A mixer? No, I'm good." "Don't say that. Besides, it's definitely going to be fun if you come." Initially reluctant, I was persuaded by Ryan to participate as an additional number. Ryan set it up, and all the women apparently work in the same field. The men's side included me, Ryan, and Ryan's college friend Nick. Also, someone Nick knows from work. At that time, I had no idea that person would be the last person I wanted to meet. The place will be full of beautiful women. Ryan didn't tell me much, seeing that I wasn't too enthusiastic about it. As a result, I didn't know what kind of jobs the women were doing until the mixer started. "Hello." When I entered the bar, the women had already arrived and were seated. They started whispering to each other when they saw me. I was puzzled by this one. "Hello, wow, they are all so beautiful." I heard an annoying voice. Turning around, I saw Kevin. "Are you, by any chance, Cameron?" "I knew it, it's you, Kevin." Kevin also seemed to have noticed me and was smirking. Just as I was thinking about leaving, the last member arrived, and I completely lost my chance to leave. After the toast, the self-introductions began. "My name is Kevin. I run an IT company." Kevin greeted confidently. So, Kevin became a CEO. Come to think of it, we haven't known anything about each other since graduating high school. Even though we used to know everything. Hi, I'm Cameron. I work with motorcycles." As I introduced myself, the women seemed excited, as if saying, "I knew it. This guy used to be a gang member and was such a fool that he'd get called out by teachers." Really? Seeing the women's reaction, Kevin started speaking ill of me. This not only surprised the women, but also made Ryan and the others look skeptical. This guy is a fool who used to be in a gang. Kevin continued to mock me, laughing, seemingly oblivious to the atmosphere. Meanwhile, I didn't feel like retorting and just drank my drink in silence. Compared to him, I run a company. Kevin went from insulting me to bragging about how great he was. The women exchanged glances. And then, Kevin. Yes. Do you not know? What? One of the women addressed Kevin. I believe her name was Emily. She had a cute face and a smile like a flower. Kevin looked puzzled at Emily's words. Ignoring Kevin, she turned a beaming smile towards me. We've all noticed. Cameron is the famous motorcycle racer that's all the rage right now, right? Indeed, I am a motorcycle racer known internationally. And the women were promotional models. Sometimes they travel abroad, so it seemed they knew about me. I noticed Cameron as soon as he entered the bar and told everyone. That's why the women knew about my true identity and had been restless from the start. Hearing this, Ryan lightly patted my shoulder. That's what I told you, right? You're gonna be a big hit when you get here. Hearing that made me chuckle involuntarily. Honestly, I thought motorcycle racing was something only a few people were interested in. Indeed, Kevin probably didn't know about me because it's not that big of a deal in the States. Yet, these women knew about me. I felt embarrassed by that fact. I want to hear more about Cameron's story. Me too. I'm interested as well, actually. I've been watching road races in France and wanted to hear more about it. From that point on, the mixer turned into my solo show. Not just the women, but the men were also captivated by the world of motorcycle racing, something they don't usually hear about. Such bike talk, girls probably aren't interested in that, right? Instead, my company is. That's not true at all. Motorcycles have a different kind of appeal from cars. Kevin tried to interrupt and steer the conversation back to himself. However, no one was listening, and all the interest was focused on me. In the end, Kevin was left out of the mixer, silently drinking alone. I observed him while entertaining the others with my stories. His demeanor, having given up on joining in our conversation, reminded me of myself back in high school. Kevin. Later, as I was getting up to go to the restroom, I bumped into Kevin, who was packing his things. I later learned that he was feeling out of place and was about to leave at that moment. It's all your fault. You made me look like a fool. Kevin was angry the moment he saw me. Come to think of it, Kevin always lashed out at me whenever something unreasonable happened. I would dodge it casually, and we would find various things to do for stress relief. I fondly remembered how we used to play with the same toys when we were kids. You hadn't changed in that aspect. Huh? Getting mad at me whenever something happens. Hey, Kevin, why did you say such things back in high school? Kevin's expression twisted at my words. And then, why do you always get to do what you love? He murmured that. Upon further conversation, it turned out he was jealous of me. We used to be the same in everything when we were kids. Actually, Kevin and I were childhood friends who had been together from kindergarten through high school. Cameron, look, I got one too. Wow, that's awesome. Let's play together. Okay. Kevin loved vehicles, especially motorcycles, and we used to play with toy bikes together. Remembering that, I decided to talk to Kevin. I actually wanted to become a racer too. Kevin said with a self-deprecating laugh. Indeed, he always used to say, I'm going to be a racer, so you should too, Cameron. We'll become famous racers together. However, his parents told him, playing with motorcycle toys won't get you anywhere in life. You can't become one of those rare people. Stop dreaming and study hard to become an IT company CEO, and he was forced to give up his dream. Since then, I've just been walking the path laid out by my parents. And he started focusing on studying as his parents had told him. Gradually, Kevin became busy with lessons, and I started hustling to earn living expenses, and we naturally stopped playing together. I was always jealous of you for chasing your dreams, despite being poor. His words made me reminisce about the past. The time in high school, from when I got my motorcycle license until I was ostracized by my classmates. Did you really get your license? Yeah, I did. This brings me one step closer to my dream. That's amazing. Your dream was to become a motorcycle racer, right? Exactly. My dream is to become a motorcycle racer who competes internationally. I was talking with my classmates about getting my license and my future dreams. What kind of expression did Kevin have at that time? What kind of look was in his eyes as he listened to my story? Sorry, I didn't notice anything. Even though I was aware of your parents being overly controlling, I could have at least listened to you, but I did nothing. It can't be helped. You had your own difficulties. Besides, I'm the one at fault." Hearing what was in Kevin's heart, I decided to forgive his past actions. And so, we made peace with each other. I have a race coming up soon. Really? If you're interested, why don't you come watch the MotoGP, the premier class of road racing? When I invited him, he looked surprised but then nodded. After that, Kevin and I returned to our seats together. Instead of the tense atmosphere from before, we returned in a calm mood, and I could tell that Ryan and the others were relieved. "Did you guys make up?" "Well, yes, but I'm interested in hearing about your experience too. Being a CEO must be tough, right?" "Yeah, it is. Managing a company is harder than I thought. Let me hear your story later, Cameron." I nodded with a smile at Kevin's words. 6 months later, I was competing in the MotoGP. In the audience were my mother and Kevin, who had come from the States to support me. I had received calls from both of them before the race. "Good luck, we're cheering for you. I want to see your brave figure. Today, I definitely can't lose." Of course, Ryan, who is a race engineer, was also there supporting me at the forefront. I can't look pathetic in front of her. Well, yeah. When I looked towards the audience, I saw Emily there. In fact, after the mixer, I had exchanged contact information with her. "I want to hear more about your story, Cameron." "Me too. I want to talk more with you, Emily." During the mixer, she was the one who listened to my stories with a smile. And since she was the first to recognize me, I found myself drawn to her by the time the mixer ended. At that point, I only had 1 month left in the States. Still, we managed to go on dates, like dinners and movies, once a week. And on the day of my departure, "Emily, I love you. It's going to be long distance, but would you date with me?" I confessed my love to her when she came to see me official. "I love you too, Cameron, so please let me be by your side." The confession was a success. I started dating Emily. And today, at the MotoGP, I'm definitely going to win. I want to show you my best. I'm looking forward to it, but don't get hurt, okay? "Yeah, I understand." With that promise to Emily, whom I hadn't seen in a while, I took on the race. All the rivals were formidable. I gripped the motorcycle's handlebars tightly, took a deep breath, and focused. Amid the tense situation, what flashed through my mind was the sound of everyone's cheering. I used their voices as strength, keeping my concentration as I maneuvered the bike. And then, yes, I did it. I achieved the long-awaited victory. Looking towards the audience, I saw Emily, tears streaming down her face as she clapped. I directed my best smile towards her. Then, I stood at the top of the podium. I made a big victory pose towards my Father in heaven. I kept my promise, Dad. I felt as if my Father in heaven was praising me, saying, "Well done." After that, things were hectic for a while. With the victory, I was approached from all sides, and after returning home, there were non-stop requests for interviews on TV. "Cameron is tired, so please wait until things settle down for interviews." If Ryan and Kevin hadn't helped me, I might have fainted from the unfamiliar treatment. Come to think of it, Emily laughed at me. "I'm really happy that Cameron is recognized by everyone." Her smile, as she said that, was as beautiful as ever, like a flower. And then, 2 weeks after the victory, I visited my father's grave with my mother. "Cameron, what do you want to do in the future?" My father, on his sickbed, had asked me that. Holding my father's hand, which had become thin from illness, I promised, "I want to be the world's #1 motorcycle racer. I'll definitely show you that, Dad." My father smiled at my answer. That's right. Dreams come true if you don't give up. I'll always be supporting you. I'll watch you become the world's #1 from the sky. He said that and encouraged me. Because of that promise, I never gave up, no matter what happened. And finally, I was able to fulfill that promise. I wonder if you were watching, Dad, you'd probably say it was expected of me. I laughed as I placed something in front of my father's grave. It was the first motorcycle toy my father bought for me. That toy was the reason I had a dream. I made my dream come true. I reported to my father. Cameron, you did great. You're truly our child. My mother, watching me, was moved to tears of joy. Smiling, I said, I'm glad to be your child. After talking to my father about various things for a while, we left the grave, promising to bring my wife next time. Sorry for taking your time. It's okay. I wanted to have a good talk with you. After that, I took the time to talk with Kevin, just the two of us. First, Kevin sincerely apologized for his past actions. You know, I'm attending a school now. Kevin seemed to have been inspired by my effort and success in pursuing my dream. He decided to take on a challenge himself. While managing his company, he started attending a racing school to fulfill his long-held dream of becoming a motorcycle racer. Didn't your parents object? They did. They told me not to be delusional and to manage the business seriously. It seems that was the first time Kevin directly stood up to his parents. After many discussions, he somehow managed to get their permission. I want to chase my dreams too, and I want to help you. Utilizing his IT skills, he began to support me. Thanks to Kevin, I was able to analyze the bike's performance, my physique, and information about my rivals in much more detail. With this additional boost, I set off once again towards my dream of consecutive victories in the MotoGP. Cameron, check this out. All right. As best friends chasing the same dream, we started spending more time together again. Count me in too. What was different from before was that Ryan was also with us. Now, the three of us are united in pursuing our dreams. A year later, I competed in the MotoGP. Previously, the competition was tight, and I couldn't let my guard down, but this time was different. With the support of Kevin and Ryan, I won by a large margin. I managed to secure back-to-back championships. Congratulations, Cameron. Way to go, Cameron. As my teammates and mother celebrated the victory, I rushed to Emily, pulling something out of my pocket. Emily. I knelt before Emily and presented her with a ring box. Emily, I've been wanting to say this if I won a championship again. Will you marry me? I made a marriage proposal to her. Emily teared up at the suddenness of it all. Even in her teary state, I found her beautiful. Yes, I'd be happy to. Amid the tense anticipation of those around us, Emily's response was affirmative. I couldn't help but embrace Emily tightly. Congratulations, Cameron. Congrats to both of you. Everyone celebrated both my victory and the successful proposal. Make her happy and make sure you're happy too. Kevin, now a close friend, was genuinely happy for me. He had recently competed in a race. While he didn't win right off the bat, he had a satisfied look on his face. 2 years later, Emily and I were blessed with a lovely baby boy. When your father passed away, I was only worried about whether I could raise you on my own, but to see you grow up so admirably, fulfill your dreams, and even give me a grandchild, I couldn't be more thankful. You're the best son. My mother, holding her grandson, said this with tears in her eyes. Hearing her words, various memories flashed through my mind. The days I worked hard for my mother, the support she gave me more than anyone else, and how she encouraged me. I'm the one who should be thankful, Mom. You raised me by yourself and supported me, allowing me to chase my dreams. Thank you so much, Mom. I expressed my heartfelt gratitude to my mother. Then, on my son's first Christmas, I quietly placed a toy motorcycle beside my sleeping son's pillow. No matter what dreams you choose to pursue, I'll support you. Just like my parents did for me. From my experiences, I'm convinced that dreams do come true if you don't give up. The dream I promised my father, to become the world's #1 motorcycle racer, came true through continuous wishing and effort. Even in the most difficult situations, I learned the importance of never giving up on my dreams. Looking back, maybe it was because of my experiences in high school that I was able to work this hard. During high school, even though I was looked down upon by my classmates, thinking about motorcycles helped me endure the tough times. And those experiences might have been what made me the world's #1 motorcycle racer. I still feel bad about the past. That's why I want to challenge you head-on as a rival this time. Kevin decided to take a step forward and fulfilled his dream of becoming a motorcycle racer. By the way, I met Alex and Dylan just before graduating from high school. Really? They properly told me about you and themselves. It seems they noticed I was looking gloomy while working part-time, and after some digging, they found out about Kevin. They talked a lot and shared their knowledge as entrepreneurs. That's why the IT company is doing well, and they still cooperate, allowing Kevin to balance being both an entrepreneur and a racer. I'm going to meet Alex and Dylan soon. Want to come, Cameron? Of course. I owe a lot to Alex and Dylan too. However, I haven't seen them since graduating high school. I'm looking forward to meeting them again. All right, we need to win the next race and give a good report. Yeah. By making promises with a friend and joining forces, I was able to fulfill the dream of consecutive victories. I believe that anyone can achieve their dreams with strong determination. And I vowed to continue chasing my dreams together with everyone who supports me.